chemical reactions in class 8 chemistry, and today I will tell you about the conditions which are required for the chemical reactions. So the first condition, which is, you all know what is chemical reaction. Chemical reaction is a reaction in which the reactants combine together to form the product, and the reactants are always written on the left hand side and the product is written on the right hand side, and in between the reactant and the product an arrow sign is indicated, means this is called chemical equation, and chemical equation is always represented by the symbols. So the conditions necessary for chemical reactions we will discuss today. First condition is the close contact. Close contact means which substance come in close contact with each other, and that is the reactant. So the reactants combine together or they come in close contact with each other to form the product. This is the first condition of the chemical reaction. As you can see the reaction, NH3 plus HCl. NH3 is ammonia and HCl is hydrochloric acid. When both of them combine together, it forms ammonium chloride, that is NH4Cl. So here this is written in the left hand side, means these are the reactants, and NH4Cl, that is ammonium chloride, which is written on the right hand side, it is called the product, and in between the reactant and the product an arrow sign is indicated. So the first condition is that every reactant, they come in close to contact with each other and they form the product. So this is the first condition. I think you might have understood. Another example I am giving you, you all know about sodium. Sodium is a metal. When they come in close contact with the air, it explodes. That's why sodium is a very reactive metal, and that's why it is kept in the kerosene. So because sodium, when they come in contact with each other, means here also the sodium is coming in contact with the air, and when it comes in contact, it explodes. So this is also the example of close contact, how the elements are coming in close contact with any compound or element. Second condition is physical state of the reactant. You all know that the matter exists in three states: solid, liquid and gas. Now whenever the reactant they combine together, either they are in the solid form or liquid form or gaseous form. Here I am giving you the example like sodium chloride. Sodium chloride, it is in the aqueous state. Aqueous state means when it is combined in the liquid form. So when sodium chloride combines with the silver nitrate is also in the aqueous state in the liquid form. So when both of them react together, it forms silver chloride, and silver chloride is a precipitate. Precipitate I have already discussed in the previous class. It is the insoluble solid which is formed during the chemical reaction. So AgCl or the silver chloride which is formed, it is called the precipitate, and precipitate is always indicated by the downward arrow like this. Plus NaNO3, sodium nitrate, which is also in the aqueous state, which is formed as a result of the reaction between the sodium chloride and silver nitrate. So here we can see that both the sodium chloride and silver nitrate, which are in the aqueous state, and when they combine together, it forms the precipitate. It is neither not aqueous state, but we can say it is the insoluble solid which is formed during the chemical reaction. Third condition is the surface area. Surface area means the area in which the elements of the compound, the particles, they occupy. So the more the surface area of the element or the particles, the higher will be the speed of the reaction, and less the surface area, the less will be the speed of reaction. Means here we can say that if the lump of solid, lump of sugar which have less surface area, so they dissolve slowly because the surface area is less, because the speed of the reaction will become less, and as a result, when you add lump of sugar in the glass of water, it will take time to dissolve. Whereas if we take powdered sugar, because powdered sugar has more surface area, and when it is dissolved in the water, means it will dissolve fast, because the surface area between the particles of the powdered sugar is more. So more the surface area and more the speed of the reaction will increase. So this is about the surface area. Another condition is the heat energy. You all know the chemical reaction exists in two forms. forms either endothermic reaction or exothermic reaction. Endothermic reaction is the reaction in which the heat is absorbed, and exothermic reaction is the reaction in which the heat is released. So in heat energy means the heat is either absorbed in the chemical reaction or the heat is released in the chemical reaction. So like copper plus sulfuric acid, Cu plus 2H2SO4, when they combine together. So what happens? It forms copper sulfate, CuSO4. This copper will combine with sulfate, and hydrogen will combine with the sulfur dioxide gas will be formed, and water will be formed. So here means both the reaction is taking place here because of the heat energy, like iron plus sulfur. Iron when combined with the sulfur, when it is heated, both the elements when they are heated together, they form iron sulfide, that is FeS. So heat is applied, then only this iron will combine with the sulfur to form the compound iron sulfide. In the same way, copper carbonate CuCO3, when it is heated, it forms CuO, that is copper oxide, plus it will break and it will release CO2 gas, that is carbon dioxide gas in the atmosphere, and the gas is always indicated by the upward arrow. So here what we see, that the copper carbonate, when it is heated, it decomposes into copper oxide as well as carbon dioxide. So here the heat is, we can say the heat is absorbed, not the heat is released, but in some reaction, like whenever we burn the wood, carbon combined with oxygen, wood contains carbon, and when they combine with oxygen, it forms carbon dioxide. Means here the carbon dioxide gas is produced plus heat energy is produced. So this type of reaction is called exothermic reaction, because here the heat is evolved, but here in this reaction, copper carbonate, when it is heated, means here the heat is absorbed and it forms copper oxide and carbon dioxide. In the same way, there are many examples of this condition, like cooking of food. Whenever we cook food, and or whenever we boil the egg or any food items, then they cook, means the heat is supplied to them. So heat is supplied to them, then only the cooking takes place, so or the food is prepared. So this is also the example of the heat energy which we are giving, and this is the example, both are the example of the endothermic reaction, because here the heat is absorbed. Another condition is the light energy. Light energy means like solar energy. And you all know about the plants. Plants do the process of photosynthesis. Means they prepare food in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. When carbon dioxide and water combine together in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, they form glucose, that is C6H12O6, and as a result of photosynthesis, the oxygen gas is released in the atmosphere. So here the light is very necessary, because in the absence of light the reaction will not take place, and this reaction is called photochemical reactions. So some reactions take place in the presence of light, like photosynthesis. Just now I gave the example. So this is called photochemical reactions. Some reactions they require electricity also to decompose. So and this type of reaction is called electrochemical reaction, because the chemical reaction is taking place when the electric current is supplied. Like water, when water is given the electric current, when it is supplied to the water, electric current is supplied to the water, it decomposes into hydrogen and oxygen. So hydrogen is another element and oxygen. So this reaction only takes place in the presence of electricity. So this is also one of the conditions. Another condition is the pressure, is under high pressure. Some reactions takes place. Mostly few reactions, as we have seen the example of the crackers. So cracker, when it is explodes, that when it explodes means they explode. When some crackers, they are thrown upside, and with the high pressure when they fall on the ground, means they explode. So under high pressure only this cracker will explode. So this is also the condition in which the cracker explodes, only when it is given the high pressure, means it is thrown at a high pressure and then it is falling on the earth. Some reaction like N2 plus H2. N2 means nitrogen combined with hydrogen at 200 atmospheric pressure. This is also high pressure here we are applying. So when both of them combine together, it forms ammonia. So ammonia, this process is called Haber-Bosch process. and this ammonia is formed at high pressure only. So this is also an example. And another example is the carbon dioxide when mixed with the water. So carbon dioxide when mixed with the water means it forms carbonic acid. So carbonic acid is also formed under high pressure. So these are the reactions which I have just told just now. Haber-Bosch process for the formation of ammonia or carbonic acid, another process. So these are they are formed only under the high pressure. So this is also one of the conditions. Another is condition which is required for the chemical reaction is the catalyst. Catalyst, you all know, it is the substance, chemical substance which either increase, which means we can say which alter the speed of reaction. Alter the speed of reaction means either increase the speed of reaction or decrease the speed of reaction. So according to the condition means whether they are increasing the speed or in decreasing, they are of two types: positive catalyst and negative catalyst. Positive catalyst always increase the speed of reaction and negative catalyst always decrease the speed of reaction. So here we can see that there are some catalysts which increase the speed of reaction and there are some catalysts which decrease the speed of reaction, and they are only called, we can say, promoters. Promoters means they are also involved in the chemical reaction, in chemical activity, like H2O2, hydrogen peroxide, when they in the presence of manganese oxide, that is, it is a positive catalyst. So when this H2O2 they come in contact with the MnO2, they form H2O, that is water plus oxygen gas. So this is here the MnO2 which are we are using here, it is the positive catalyst, or we can say positive promoters. Negative catalyst means which decrease the speed of reaction. As I told you, they are also called inhibitors because they inhibit the chemical reactions. The speed of chemical reaction is inhibited. That's why they are called inhibitors. Like H2O2, when they react in the presence of glycerin and phosphoric acid, what do they form? They also form H2O plus O2. So here the negative catalyst we are using. So this is called inhibitors. And there are some biocatalysts also which are present in our body, like enzymes like amylase, pepsin, lipase. So these three are the main enzymes which are present in our digestive system. And these the function of this amylase is very important because amylase help in the digestion of the carbohydrates, mostly the glucose, and pepsin helps in the digestion of the proteins, and lipase helps in the digestion of the fats. So these three are, which besides these three, another enzymes are also there. So these enzymes, they are called biocatalysts. So amylase, pepsin and lipase, which help in the digestion of the carbohydrate, proteins and fats respectively. So this is all about the biocatalysts and other different conditions which are required for the chemical reaction. In the next class, we will discuss another topic of chemistry. Thank you.